If, like me, you bought an MSD 6AL and then found out afterwards that you couldn't use the Bluetooth features because you reside outside of the US and Canada, I'm going to show you how to get those working in this video. First thing you're going to need is either your phone or your tablet, whatever you're going to be using. Unfortunately, I don't have access to an iOS device, so I can only show you this on Android, but I presume it should be the same on iOS. If it isn't, let me know and I'll try and steal an iOS device from a friend and figure out how to do it on that as well. But for this demonstration, I'm going to be showing you on this Samsung tablet. So just switched to the overhead cam here, and you can see that I've got the MSD6AL Plus, which is the one that's got the USB connection as well as Bluetooth, hooked up to a desktop power supply. It's just outputting 12 volts to the battery connections and the ignition live as well. So with that connected, if, like me, you live outside of the US and Canada and you've purchased the 6AL, when you launch the software, this is what you'll be greeted with. So you'll open the software and you'll put the ignition module into pairing mode. So you press this little button on the side, which makes it flash in all these fancy colors, and it will search for the device. The light goes solid because it's paired, but then it will unpair. So the light starts flashing again, and then it will just sit on this, and it won't do anything different. It'll just be stuck on that. However, I sat down earlier this evening with the intention of trying everything I can to get this working, primarily because I want to use the nitrous retard and I can't find the setting for that in the MSD View app. I've emailed Holly and MSD, I've heard nothing back for 2 weeks. However, I set up a VPN, I was getting ready to spoof some GPS. Turns out it's not that difficult. So if we jump back down to the overhead cam, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start screen recording if it will let me. It's not going to let me screen record, is it? Don't have the option to screen record. Okay, so I'm going to try and show you on the tablet. If the video quality is bad, I'll go back and I'll screen record it and we'll lay it over the top. But essentially, you want to go into your Android settings. So we're going to settings here. And then we want to find the general settings. Now, under Samsung, it's down here under general management. On normal Android, I think it's just called general settings. What we're going to do is we're going to go into our language options. Now, currently mine's set to English United Kingdom. I presume if you're in Australia, it'll be English Australian, etc. We're going to add a language. I'm going to go to English, and we're going to go to English United States. So I'm going to set that as my default language, and then I'm going to remove, so go to Edit, and I'm going to remove my native language of English United Kingdom. So now I've just got English United States on there. So if I close down the settings and go back into the MSD Ultra AL app, and I put it back into pairing mode, it's going to search for the ignition module, hopefully. And I should see it pair. But this time, what it shouldn't do is immediately disconnect. So it stayed connecting. The fact that it's pulsing means that we're transmitting data to and from it. And there you go. The application is working. So I searched all the forums, all the Facebook groups, and all I could find were people who bought the 6AL getting really angry about the fact that they couldn't use the Bluetooth side. So yeah, hopefully this tutorial helps you out. If you get stuck, drop me a comment. I'll do my best to help you. But as far as I can tell, the application is just checking your language and regional settings. Now, it's worth noting that when you change the language on normal Android OS, it tends to change the regional settings as well. It did on my device. But there's absolutely no harm in doing that whilst you configure your settings, set up your map, set up your timing retards, etc., and your timing map, and then just change it back to whatever your native language is afterwards. So yeah, hopefully that helped. If it did, drop me a like, drop me a comment. Let me know what car you're putting your 6AL into, because I'd be interested to know. And if you feel like it, drop me a subscribe. Thanks.